Maria Connor faces growing anxiety in Coronation Street next week when she begins to fear that her marriage may be falling apart. When Izzy Armstrong drops by the salon for a simple haircut, she unexpectedly finds herself listening to Maria's personal concerns instead of receiving a routine appointment. During the upcoming episodes, Maria pressures her husband, Gary Windass, to reveal the truth about the secret he's been keeping. She is convinced that Sarah Platt is somehow involved, having noticed the pair behaving suspiciously together for several weeks. Gary quickly brushes aside Maria's accusations and attempts to shift her focus by arranging a holiday for the whole family. While Izzy, Liam, and Jake are delighted by the surprise trip, Maria remains unconvinced and senses that something isn't right. While speaking with Izzy, Maria shares her doubts and says, "I know he booked the holiday, but that still doesn't account for the way he's been acting. If anything, it only makes me more suspicious." Think about it. What's one of the first things people do after they've been unfaithful? When Izzy suggests that it could be a typical guilt gift, Maria immediately agrees, replying, "That's exactly what I mean." The discussion continues as Maria points out that Sarah has also been behaving oddly around her lately and appears to be concealing something. Although Izzy isn't fully persuaded that Gary has cheated, especially under the current circumstances, Maria remains determined to uncover the truth and prove her theory. Gary and Sarah have found themselves growing closer again since the death of Theo Silverton, although the reason behind their renewed connection has yet to be revealed. Gary remains one of the leading suspects in the ongoing murder mystery, and a recent flashback showed him standing over Theo's lifeless body on the night the villain died. This has raised questions over whether Sarah might be protecting Gary and whether doing so could eventually damage her relationship with DC Kit Green. The situation could soon come to a head, as Kit has promised to concentrate his investigation on Gary now that Summer Spellman has been ruled out of suspicion. Fresh Coronation Street spoiler clips have been released, revealing dramatic scenes as a gunshot sends shockwaves through Weatherfield. Next week brings emotional turmoil, family conflict, and suspicions of infidelity as several residents face major challenges. Nick Tilsley, still struggling after his son Sam Blakeman's devastating mental health crisis, is dealt another painful blow when Eva Price and Ben Driscoll share troubling information. Overwhelmed by emotion, Nick soon directs his anger towards them. Meanwhile, the ongoing tension between brothers Kevin and Carl Webster threatens to explode. With Ronnie Bailey and Tyrone Dobbs attempting to calm the situation, events take a dangerous turn when a gun becomes involved and a shot is fired. Elsewhere, Maria Connor becomes increasingly convinced that Gary Windass has been unfaithful. As she confides in Izzy Armstrong, it becomes obvious that she is determined to uncover evidence to support her suspicions. For viewers eager for a glimpse of the upcoming drama, the latest spoiler videos provide plenty of clues. Following Sam's hospitalization, Nick is left emotionally shattered. When Ben reveals that he had noticed Sam behaving differently before the crisis, Nick struggles to cope with the revelation. Unable to contain his emotions, Nick lashes out at both Ben and Eva. David Platt, Jack P. Shepard, quietly encourages them to leave, but Nick's anger continues to escalate, leading him to order everyone out of the bistro. He even tells Toya Battersby to leave him alone. The question remains whether Nick will continue pushing away those who care about him while helping Sam through his recovery. At the same time, Ronnie and Tyrone make another attempt to repair the fractured relationship between Kevin and Carl. However, Carl insists that Kevin must either forgive him and move forward or take the gun he received from Fiona Morley and use it. Believing the weapon is not real, Kevin picks it up and points it towards Carl. As Ronnie rushes in to stop him and wrestles for control, the gun unexpectedly discharges, sending a loud shot echoing throughout the garage. The incident raises fears that the bitter dispute between the brothers may have ended in tragedy. Back at the salon, Izzy attempts to discuss her hairstyle, but Maria is too distracted by concerns about Gary's behavior. Her thoughts quickly return to the family holiday Gary recently arranged. Consumed by suspicion, Maria begins to believe that the holiday may be an attempt to cover up guilt after an affair. She openly questions Sarah Platt's recent actions, describing them as increasingly suspicious. By the end of the conversation, Maria is convinced that Gary and Sarah are secretly involved with one another. Whether her fears are justified or merely the result of growing paranoia remains to be seen. Coronation Street viewers are convinced that Maria Connor could become a key figure in the mystery surrounding Theo Silverton's murder, with some suspecting she may no longer be sticking to her original account of events. The character, portrayed by Samia Longchambon, has found herself increasingly involved in the fallout from Theo's death. Theo, played by former Tracy Beaker actor James Cartwright, met his end during the soap's dramatic Murder Week storyline, and detectives are still working to uncover who was responsible. As the investigation continues, DS Lisa Swain has already faced criticism after wrongly accusing Summer Spellman of the crime. Once Summer was cleared and released, the police were forced to start over in their search for the real killer. Meanwhile, DC Kit Green has remained suspicious of Gary Windass from the beginning. Although he believes Gary is concealing important information, he has struggled to determine exactly what it is. Part of Gary's defense relied on a statement from Maria, who told police that CCTV footage from Gary's workplace had been deleted because it contained intimate footage of the couple together on the night Theo died. However, viewers know that explanation was fabricated. What Maria remains unaware of is Sarah Platt's growing involvement in the situation. Sarah has become increasingly close to Gary, offering him support as he battles emotional turmoil, though the exact secret they are protecting has yet to be revealed. During Friday's episode, Maria waited for Gary at Speed Dahl and called him, urging him to arrive quickly. While speaking with Shona, she admitted that she felt uneasy about the state of her relationship. She confessed that something seemed off between her and Gary, despite appearances suggesting everything was perfectly normal from the outside. Elsewhere, Sarah attempted to gain access to Kit's laptop, but failed in her efforts. Later, Lisa Swain arrived at the salon accompanied by Kit and informed Maria that police required another statement regarding Gary's whereabouts on the night Theo was killed. They wanted her to revisit her account in case she had overlooked any details previously. Maria later met Gary in the pub and assured him that she had maintained the same version of events. Nevertheless, she also expressed concern about the consequences if the police discovered she had lied to protect him. Eventually, she told Gary that she would stop asking questions because it might be safer for her not to know the full truth. Gary responded by insisting he was not hiding anything and urged her to lower her voice. Despite his reassurance, Maria's reaction suggested she remained deeply skeptical and unconvinced by his explanation. Fans quickly took to social media to share their theories about the storyline. One viewer questioned what Gary could possibly be hiding, arguing that he seems almost too obvious a suspect to be the real killer. Coronation Street continues to air on ITV1 from Monday to Friday at 8:30 p.m., while episodes are also available to stream on ITVX from 7 a.m.